Emmy loved the color pink. Her room was pink. Her dresses were pink. Even her toothbrush was pink. She loved baking cookies with her mommy. The warm, sweet smell filled the whole house, making it feel cozy and happy. Emmy had a pet goldfish named Bubbles. Bubbles had shiny scales that shimmered like tiny jewels. Emmy loved to watch Bubbles swim in his bowl. She would giggle and point her tiny finger, leaving a small smudge on the glass. Emmy loved her life and everyone in it. Every morning, Mommy woke Emmy up with a gentle kiss. The sun peeked through the curtains, painting stripes of light on Emmy's bed. Mommy would help Emmy get dressed and brush her teeth. Then they would go downstairs for breakfast. Mommy made the best pancakes. They were fluffy and golden, just like Emmy's favorite teddy bear. Emmy liked to dip her pancakes in syrup and eat them bite by bite. After breakfast, Mommy would comb Emmy's hair. Mommy's touch was soft and made Emmy feel safe and loved. One day, Daddy packed his bags. He was going on a trip for work. Emmy felt a little sad to see him go. She hugged his leg tightly, not wanting him to leave. Daddy knelt and kissed her forehead. "Don't worry, my little princess," he said. "I'll be back soon. Be good for Mommy, okay?" Emmy nodded, tears welling up in her big blue eyes. She waved goodbye as Daddy drove away. Emmy missed him already. Mommy took Emmy to the park to cheer her up. The park was full of children laughing and playing. They flew a kite together, a bright red kite that soared high in the sky. Emmy giggled as the kite danced in the wind. "Look, Mommy," Emmy said, pointing to the sky. "The kite is flying as high as Daddy." Mommy smiled and hugged Emmy tight. "Yes, it is," she whispered. "Daddy is watching over you, even from far away." Emmy and Mommy baked cookies together that afternoon. They made star shapes, heart shapes, and even a shape that looked like bubbles. The house smelled like sugar and cinnamon. Emmy loved the way the warm dough felt in her hands. After the cookies were baked, Emmy and Mommy snuggled up on the couch. They read Emmy's favorite bedtime story, the one about the princess and the talking dragon. Mommy tucked Emmy into bed and kissed her goodnight. "I love you to the moon and back," she whispered. A few days later, Daddy came home. Emmy heard his familiar voice and ran to the door. She jumped into his arms and showered him with kisses. Daddy laughed and swung her around. He had brought her a special gift, a pink unicorn plushie. Emmy squeezed it tight. It was the softest, cuddliest unicorn she had ever seen. That night, Emmy fell asleep in her bed. The unicorn nestled beside her. She felt happy and safe, surrounded by the love of her family. The next morning, Daddy had a surprise for Emmy. "Get your boots on, little explorer," he said with a twinkle in his eye. "We're going on an adventure." Emmy's eyes widened with excitement. She loved adventures. She quickly put on her boots and followed Daddy outside. He led her to the backyard where he had set up a small tent. "We're going camping," Daddy announced. Emmy squealed with delight. She had never been camping before. Daddy helped her set up the tent and showed her how to zip it closed. They roasted marshmallows over a small fire pit and told each other stories under the stars. Emmy felt like a real adventurer. As she snuggled into her sleeping bag, she realized something wonderful. The best adventures were the ones she shared with her family. Even though Daddy had been away, their love for each other had only grown stronger. And that made Emmy's heart feel full of joy. Looking up at the twinkling stars, Emmy made a silent wish. She wished that every day could be an adventure with her family. She knew that not every day could be filled with camping trips and unicorn plushies, but as long as she had her Mommy and Daddy, and of course Bubbles, every day would be magical in its own way. Emmy closed her eyes, a contented smile on her face. She drifted off to sleep, dreaming of pink clouds, talking goldfish, and all the adventures that awaited her.